Welcome. I'm Meredith. This is the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment Tarot, all about tarot, oracle, and empowering you. And we have another unboxing. I'm not sure what this is, but oh my goodness, can I tell you, I got the package, and the sender's address was NE, which took me an embarrassingly long time to realize that was Nebraska. I always forget about Nebraska. Isn't that terrible? I feel like you never hear about Nebraska, though, right? Like, pretty much every other state. Usually it's not always a positive thing, but I feel like every other state we hear about, you don't really hear anything about Nebraska. I feel like Nebraska's just kind of chilling, doing their own thing, not really giving anybody any issues. But I could be wrong. Okay. Oh, I know what this is. So, it's so pretty. So this is the Spectrowhirl. This is the first edition. So here's all the information. So there's a second edition, which I may have to get. But for now, we're starting with the first. And I have to say that I discovered this deck thanks to Robyn of Robyn's Reflections. And I will link her video in the description because she does a beautiful job showing the first and second edition of this deck. This deck is so different from anything I have. It's a lot. There's a lot going on with this deck. And ordinarily, I think I would stay away from it. Like, what's that deck? It's so popular. It went mass market, and I can't think of the name of it. But it's a busy deck, right? There's a lot going on. And I've been kind of tempted by it. But by the same time, I feel like it would be exhausting to read from, for me personally. And I'm surprised that I didn't feel this way when I watched her review or comparison. Anyway, this is by Benjamin Allen Simon. This tarot deck consists of a kaleidoscope collision of light, color, and whimsy. Every card is hand-painted on canvas with vibrant acrylics, creating 78 unique rainbow dreamscapes. A reading with the Spectrowhirl Tarot provides an entirely immersive artistic experience, guiding you on a brief venture through surreal celestial wonderlands to bring you peace, clarity, and joy. Beautifully written. Let me get, before I rip this, let me see if I can kind of insert something to pop it up. Okay. So now, like I said, this is the first edition. There are differences, so definitely check out Robyn's video if you want to see what they are. The main reason I went for the first edition first, look at these backs. Have you ever seen anything more beautiful? Two reasons. One, I'm not going to lie, first edition is a little bit cheaper. And so it's like, if it doesn't go, if I end up not being able to work with it, at least I went with the cheaper option. But also, I have a feeling I'm going to really like it and end up getting the second edition as well. So I figure the first edition might sell out sooner. So yeah, so let's get in. Let's get in. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. When I show you for size. So this is, I feel like maybe a bridge size deck-ish. So it's a good bit smaller, shorter than standard tarot. It's a little bit wider. I mean, just a little. But I feel like it's a nice size. And it does have these big black borders A lot of times I don't like borders, but I think with this deck, it's perfect because especially, and you'll see when we do, I'll lay them all out in a spread. I think it gives your eyes a bit of a relief and helps differentiate between the cards. But anyway, so the Fool, now this took me a minute. In the second edition, the Fool's a little more clear to see that it's, like this jester. Although once you've seen it, you see it. Like I see it clearly now. But when I first saw this card, I was like, what's going on? And then when she showed the second edition Fool, you could very clearly see. But as soon as I saw that, I saw it here. So, and the other thing I will say is they're the same backs, and I believe they're the same size. So my idea is I will probably end up getting the second edition as well. And there are certain cards I prefer from one, certain cards I prefer from the other. So I'm thinking I'll just swap them out and create like that perfect deck for me. That's my idea. Anyway, there's a lot going on in these cards. They're so pretty. Love this High Priestess. I feel like this is a great deck for intuitive work because I think that, and we still have a lot of symbols to pull from, but at least for me, it's more the energy, right? I could just feel the energy of the card in this deck. He did it so well, I think. Yeah, I mean, you can feel that Empress energy, right? And the Emperor. I love these, though. But, I mean, again, we still have the symbols, but not all of them, but, a good bit. Definitely enough to identify the cards. But more than that, I just think it's so evocative in terms of that energy. And the Hierophant. I mean, we have the keys, but it's so much more than that. And you can feel that elevation and that bridge. And, of course, we have the chakras. It's so well done. Love the Lovers. So I'm really eager to play with this deck because again, it seems like I love the strength. Look at this. The second edition has a different strength, which I also really love. So that might be one where I keep both in one deck. Just saying. But yeah, I'm not feeling the overwhelm that sometimes I feel with decks that have so much going on. Love this Hermit. It's so beautiful. And this deck is just unlike anything I have. Love this. And I love that instead of just the 2 scales, we have the 4 and the color symbolic of like the elements. I mean, that's how I see it anyway. Really, really like it. Yeah. Love this Death card. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to order the second edition. So I will say I am going to use it first, at least a couple times, to make sure, that I enjoy working with it. Oh, wow, look at that devil. And again, it's only because for me sometimes there can be that kind of overwhelm, like, I don't know, when and now I do have some decks that have a lot going on, but they're usually more Oracle, and they're decks that I tend to use just one card or maybe 3, but not like a bigger spread. I don't know. I think that, oh, look at that. I think that I'll be able to use big spreads with this without a problem. So, and it's even prettier in person. Yeah, I feel like this is a very emotional deck as opposed to the more cerebral. Like, again, there are some of the standard images that you might expect to see, and symbols, but I feel like you don't have to see them to pick up on the meaning and the feeling. So maybe that's why I don't feel overwhelmed by this deck. I don't know. Look at that ace. Wow. Wow. And this deck is just so different from anything I'm normally drawn to. And I really like it. I really, really like it. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm just getting sucked in. But not in the same way that I do with other decks. It's more like trying to think of how to describe it. It's like you ever see a food that you really like, right? And you know, maybe on TV or maybe a picture. And as you look at it, you can kind of taste it, right? You might even start to salivate a little bit. You can kind of smell it. You know, it's like that with this deck. For me, it really pulls in the feeling of the cards. More than the meaning, right? The meaning comes after. Does that make sense? So, like some decks, most decks, I would say, the meaning, well, maybe that's not true. I think most decks, for me, they're more kind of at the same time, probably. Whereas with this deck, it's like I get the feeling, pause, and then the meaning. You know, it's interesting. It's really, oh, I love that. Look at that. It's like I pause in the feeling and then move on. And I really enjoy that. Maybe I do with other decks, but not in the same way. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe after I've worked with it for a bit, I'll be able to articulate this better. Wow. Yeah. I love this, and I love the size. I really do. I like decks of all different sizes. I love the big decks. I love the tiny decks. I love the medium decks, I guess. Semi-tiny? I don't know. Wow. Oh, how beautiful. I love the eye. Focus. Stinking thing. I just want you to focus on the eye. Reminds me of my eye. That's why I was trying to see the detail in the center. I can't. I'll have to bust out a magnifying glass. But I think it might be the swirl. I don't know. Now, we do have 3 swords and a heart, but, I mean, come on. That's fabulous. Don't even care about that. Oh, wow. Really, really lovely. There's my swirl. Really interesting. Huh? Love that. You could just feel the difference in the energy, right? Oh, how beautiful. And so here it's like we have that call to the RWS, right? And I noticed that in other cards too, but it's really clever. So if you're familiar with RWS, you know, this is like a snapshot of that, right? We don't see the people, but there's that window, you know? So it's really, really neat. Oh, I love that. And again, of course, you know, we have like those fruits. Wow, I love this. This is such a neat deck. Wow. Oh, look how beautiful she is. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's give them a shuffle. And then there's no book, so we will just lay them out. Oh, they shuffle nicely. And I I love those backs so much. So pretty. Definitely gonna have to edge these in black, but let's lace them out. Could probably, can we even do, let's not push it. Yeah, I don't feel the overwhelm that I was concerned I might feel with this deck, or with similar decks. Perfect job on the borders. I'm really glad they're not thinner. I think that's a really nice thickness. I like this deck a lot. I think I have to get the second edition as well. And the cardstock's nice. It's like a I would say like a maybe Llewellyn type of cardstock. They're matte. They're not like super matte, but they're not glossy. But they're nice and smooth, so they do fan out nicely without being super crazy slippery. So really nice job on the cardstock, I would say. Now, I think, I could be wrong. I think Robyn mentioned that they do kind of chip around the edges. Once these are edged in black, that should take care of it. There are a lot of decks that do that. I'm not worried about it. And I do riffle shuffle, so I expect that to kind of happen. I'm not fussed about it. Like I said, once you edge it in black, you're not going to see anything. And if you do, you just go over it with the black again. But yeah, and I, try to take good care of my decks, but by the same token, if I can't use them, they're of no use to me. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to use them the way that I want to use them. So yeah. Oh, wow, this is just such a great deck. It's so interesting. I'm really looking forward to using it. I do think that when I pair this, I'm probably gonna lean toward a more minimal style deck, whether it's tarot, oracle, both, just to kind of bring in that balance. Although you never know. Such an interesting deck. But yeah, I don't feel any kind of overwhelm from this at all, which makes me so happy. Oh, I love that. Love all the eyes. Yeah, but let me know what you think. Definitely check out Robyn's video, because she does a fabulous job. And really covers everything you might want to know about the first and the second edition. And she's just a delight anyway. And I will link her video in the description. And until next time, just be wonderful to yourself. Be really wonderful, because you deserve the best, only the best, all the best. And that is my wish for you.